And I have a different theory. I think my theory is a bit controversial. I question all the people that came out and talked about how Mielle was helping their hair grow. I wonder about the people who were paid to promote it. There was so much hype around Mielle being like this hair oil being like a growth miracle worker that I think maybe people wanted to believe it was working. I'm curious on if people were really enjoying Mielle when it came out. And also Mielle, like I've smelt Mielle products before. It's very strong. It has a very strong smell, and I can tell they use a lot of different oils. I know personally those oils will break my scalp out. Like I would break out. I could never use that oil that people were like raving for because I know that that would break my scalp out.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Mielle's World. Hi y'all, welcome to Mielle's World. My name is Mielle, and on my platform where I talk about texturism, featureism, black erasure. Today we are going to be talking about texturism. Before I start, I just want to say everything I am saying is alleged. I am not a voice of reason. I literally just have thoughts, okay? Legally, I am not grounded in reality, so everything I'm saying is just coming to me as a figment of my own imagination. I don't want to be held accountable for anything. Everything I am saying is alleged. So with that being said, why are the girls online saying that Mielle is having them lose their hair? Particularly on TikTok, a lot of creators have come online and shared their experiences while using Mielle products. Mielle is a hair company owned by a woman called Monique Rodriguez. Mielle is now owned by Procter & Gamble, and I'll put up what the two owners of Procter & Gamble look like. She is still the co-owner, but it is now under Procter & Gamble, while before she was independent. That has brought up so much discourse online because if y'all remember, I made a video about this last year. White supremacy and like whiteness is, I always say it's like a gravitational pull. It is like, because everything ends up going in that direction. And I think people always ask like, how can we gatekeep? How can we keep things to ourselves? And I feel like the question is not like, how can we gatekeep? The question is, how long can you keep something pure before it ends up going into the gravitational pull of whiteness? This isn't about if white women need these products. Whenever things get stolen, it's not about them needing it. It's about them wanting access to something that they feel like isn't theirs. There was like a trend where a lot of people who are this color, yeah, the caucasoids, and were going out and buying a lot of Mielle products. They were going and buying the hair oil in bulk. And we saw a lot of these kind of creators making content talking about how this hair oil is like working for them, and they would have things called wash days. It was all very strange. The Black girlies, we had a spider tingly sense that as soon as these folks are jumping on, we will soon be jumped off, right? I'm giving y'all the background. We were concerned, we were worried, like, where are we going next? Lo and behold, it was sold to P&G, right? Procter & Gamble. And that was a lot of people's insecurities because as Black folks, there has happened an endless amount of times that there's a company, it's owned by a Black person, it's like really great. Black people are loving it. Suddenly they do a weird advertisement. They start to advertise to those folks, and suddenly it's no longer Black owned anymore. And the products have usually change. They claim it never changes, but I remember using Carol's Daughter and really enjoying it. And then they sold it and it just felt like it was it just felt different. I can't explain it. And people are going to come and show like all these ingredients to be like, well, it's the same, but it just doesn't feel the same. So there are like an endless amount of people online talking about their experiences of having their hair come out in clumps by using Mielle, allegedly. I want to start by talking about our history of distrust when it comes to products and people claiming that something is safe when it's not safe. The first thing that comes to my mind is when we think about perms. Because in the 90s and the 2000s, so many perm boxes would literally say like, there's no, like, this is safe to use. I remember perm boxes, let me know if y'all remember this, but I remember perm boxes being like, oh, we're using natural products. Like they would have fruit on it, or they would be like, we're going green, we're using more healthy products. Like there was so much marketing around perms and saying that it was okay for us to use to straighten our hair and it was a safe alternative. Come to find out, now, many years later, people are talking about how it's linked to fibroids, how it's linked to different kinds of cancers. And there are so many class lawsuits coming on behalf of perms. Even there was another realization that people had that the girls who were on the perm boxes were not even having perms and did not even use the products. They were just the face of the perm boxes. On behalf of the company, it's so disingenuous because you're selling a product with someone on the cover who's not even using the product. And, you know, we were gaslit for years, for decades. People were saying that perms are okay, perms are okay. And then suddenly now we're realizing it's not okay. Some people always knew, but I just hold space for the fact that these companies were intentionally disingenuous. These companies were intentionally lying to us to make it think that this was an option. There's been like so much things in media making fun of Black women who choose to wear their hair out. They're like in a natural state. So it pushes us to have straight hair. And so the only way that our hair texture can be straight is if we're perming it, right? Or if you're straightening it and putting so much heat damage on it. So I think now people have an understanding that perms are not good for you. But for a long time, it was seen as the standard, as the expectation that you have to go through this procedure that burns and hurts yourself. I say all that to say, we have a natural distrust for companies, especially when it has people who don't look like us involved. A lot of these perm companies, come to find out, are actually owned by these folks, right? And they will have on the cover, like they'll even have names that will be like African hair, or like they'll have like really Black coded names targeting us, and it's not owned by us. I'm not saying that if a Black person is the owner, it will be better, because we've also seen that go badly. But you know what I mean? It's different. Personally, I've seen a lot of conversations around people's hair falling out from using Mielle, allegedly. And I've seen some people say, there's like two discussions around it. There's one group that's like, yes, I have also experienced this hair fallout. This is what's going on. And there's another group that's like, I don't believe y'all. On one end, some people are like, y'all don't know how to take care of your hair. And the reason that your hair is falling out is because you don't know how to take care of it. And you know, why would you be leaving your hair in braids for this long? You need to learn this and this and that. You need to do this and this and that. And then there's another group of people just saying like, no, it's not possible that this is making your hair fall out, because it's all the same ingredients and nothing has changed. And even the owner has come out and given a really shitty, she gave some kind of speech, and I just thought it didn't make it better. Like, she was just kind of talking about all the accomplishments that she's had, which isn't actually addressing what people are saying. And I think just even adds to the gaslighting, even if your product isn't attached to that. It's just a bit weird. But personally, I believe the people that are coming forward. Like, I think it can be a mixture of many things. And I have a different theory. I think my theory is a bit controversial. I question all the people that came out and talked about how Mielle was helping their hair grow. I wonder if a lot of people were bought into the hype, bought the products, and were like, this is doing wonders for me. I wonder about the people who were paid to promote it. There was so much hype around Mielle being like this hair oil being like a growth miracle worker, that I think maybe people wanted to believe it was working. I think maybe people did not even have that good of an experience, but they felt pressure to say, oh my God, I had an amazing experience, because everyone else is saying that they were having an amazing experience. And I think about this a lot when it comes to hair discussions, because since this whole Mielle thing is coming out, there are a lot of people online who are wanting to throw blame and shame at natural hair people and being like, well, you just don't know how to take care of your hair. I've heard one person say, you gotta wash your hair every week, shampoo, conditioner, da da da. I've heard one person say, you gotta wash your hair twice a month, and if you don't do that, then it's gonna fall out. I heard someone say you have to put oil on your scalp, and if you don't put oil on your scalp, you're not gonna have hair growth. I've heard someone say that if you don't put oil on your scalp, you can't put oil on your scalp. You gotta put. There's so much content. And this is reminding me of the beginning stages of the natural hair movement, right? Where there's just so many people telling you completely different things. There's one person who's certified saying one thing. There's one person who's certified saying another thing. These people are fighting online saying, oh, you don't know, you don't. And then my true belief is that you have to figure out your hair. What works for one person may not work for you. Even if they have a hair texture that looks similar to yours, it may not work. You got to see what works for your hair, and you got to trial and error things and see how it, what goes with you. There are people who have to promote so many companies for their work that a lot of things around natural hair becomes disingenuous. There are people who are using 15 products. They are changing products every month, using different products every month, talking about how these things are helping them grow. And it's like, babe, you are getting a check. And it's unfortunate because I think a lot of people are watching it and being like, wow, like these products must work. And like, I have to buy these 15 products that are all worth $40 for my hair to grow. Babe, these influencers are making a bag. They're making money. Even within this discourse, it has me guessing myself, even though I've been doing the same thing for years. Personally speaking, I don't put oil in my scalp. I am prone to having eczema and eczema spreading in my scalp. I don't oil my scalp. And I won't do it. Every single time I oil my scalp, I'll have an eczema breakout. My whole scalp will be like burning and it will hurt and stuff. And it's even similar for like the eczema I have on my arm. Like I have eczema on my skin and there's certain oils I just can't use because it inflames my eczema. Okay, so I am making this in post. So as I'm editing this, I'm kind of realizing that I don't want to gaslight people who felt like the product was actually working on their hair. But as I'm talking about my own experiences of how using oil inflames my scalp, I'm realizing that I think a lot of people are probably also prone to having scalp inflammations due to oil. But because natural hair people tell us that we have to oil our scalp, I think people feel pressured to do so. And sometimes oiling your scalp can inflame it even more. Not to mention that I feel like the kind of essential oils that Mielle products uses are very strong oils, which if you are someone who is prone to scalp inflammation, I think it can inflame it even more. But I don't want to take away from the people who actually felt like the product was doing something for their hair. So I just want to clarify that this is particularly for people who used it, felt a tingly sensation and were like, okay, I guess it's working. And then over time, they saw that their hair was falling out. So like, I'm very careful. I just don't put oil on my scalp. Some people say, oh, that's you're not going to have hair in 5 years. Well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess I won't have hair then. It's like, I'll learn in the process, but I've had my hair for a good minute. I never put oil in my scalp. I put oil in my hair, but not in my scalp. I don't oil my scalp. I don't put anything in my scalp except for water and soap. But I know some people, they have a really luxurious 15-step product. But I'm side-eyeing a lot of y'all. I'm side-eyeing a lot of y'all, especially when it says advertisement in the image or the video of you talking about this thing that you're using on your hair. I'm curious on if people were really enjoying Mielle when it came out. And also Mielle, like I've smelt Mielle products before. It's very strong. It has a very strong smell. And I can tell they use a lot of different oils. I know personally, those oils would break my scalp out. Like I would break out. I could never use that oil that people were like raving for because I know that would break my scalp out. And then the other theory that could happen is maybe with them changing to PNG, it has changed, allegedly, it could have changed who is sourcing the same products, right? That's also a possibility. Maybe it changed. Yeah, it has the same oil, but oil is different from different places. I believe it. Like, and maybe it's a mixture of two. Maybe it's a mixture of the overhype of the product when it first came out and a mixture of them changing sources, allegedly. All theories, guys, no thoughts, just guessing in this world. This is an interesting time because I feel like this could be an opportunity for people to be honest about hair loss. So when I saw all this Mielle hype and people talking about how it's making them lose their hair, I realized how many people lose their hair in clumps. There are so many people losing their hair in clumps and people don't really talk about it. So a lot of people seem to be having their hair falling out in clumps and let people tell it. Everybody want to talk about, nobody wants to be honest with like the hair struggles that is really they're really going through. Also too, I have a theory that it could be from using so many different products as well, right? Like I feel that we're like back in that natural hair stage where everyone is using so many different products on their hair. Your hair is being weighted down by like so many different things. You're constantly, if you're like wearing a wig, you're constantly hiding your hair. You're constantly putting your hair away. Like your hair is not having much oxygen to breathe. Like these are all things that, could potentially affect your hair growth. I think we're actually on our way to product exhaustion right now. I can tell that people are very exhausted when it comes to knowing how to take care of their hair. Like we're getting towards like a deep exhaustion of being told that this is how we have to have our hair, and this will work on your hair, and this won't break your hair out, and this will break your hair. Like when I had like a weave, when I used to wear like when I used to wear a weave or wigs, people would say to me like, oh, you're not going to lose your hair from this. Like wigs and weaves is like a protective style. And I was losing my hair in chunks. Like when I would do like small leave outs, my leave out would break. My hair braided would also not grow. It would be breaking. And people are like, no, like, trust me, your hair's not going to break doing this. Like your hair's not going to break. My hair was breaking. And same with even braids. Like braids were not also helping me grow my hair either. And people kept being like, well, yeah, it's just like, maybe you're doing it wrong, maybe you're doing it wrong. I think that's just my hair. And I think a lot of people have to kind of come to terms with that a lot of the things that maybe we're told will help our hair grow isn't actually really helping our hair grow. And also, mind you, all these products that people are like getting, they're not small money. It's not like $5. Like some of these products are $40. Like I see people say like, oh, I just used this product and like it helped me. That was $40 or $50 or $60 for one product. A lot of this stuff seems really like predatory, like you prey on Black people who struggle to kind of get knowledge and information on taking care of your hair, and you sell these overcharged products, and then there's a chance that when you buy these products, you can actually experience more harm, because as Black people, we have experienced more harm through buying products and believing that these companies have good intentions sometimes. I feel like something that I'm so curious about is how natural hair ties into us going through a recession. Like I've just noticed that there have been like, when there's a push for wearing wigs and wearing weaves and like covering your hair and like not seeing 4C hair and a lot of 4C hate, like people saying like 4C hair is ugly, we're usually going through a recession. I feel like the two are linked. If you want me to make a whole video about this, let me know. But I'm seeing that, and I feel like the natural hair movement, it goes in cycles. I even made a graph. In the beginning, sorry y'all. In the beginning, you'll see that this will be like the breakdown stage, like at the bottom is like the breakdown stage, and at the top is fatigue, right? And I feel like on the natural hair community, we go between breaking down and being like, this whole thing is bad, and then over consuming and buying so many products and being like, this is too much, and going back to like the basics and then going to the hyper like consumerism. In the natural hair community, first people tell you that you don't need much, right? That you don't need any products. And that's the camp that I'm in. I personally don't believe you need a lot of products on your hair. I do believe that if you don't have locks, you probably would need to use conditioner, and you would probably, but a conditioner could be even shea butter. Anyway, I believe that you don't need much products on your hair. And there are so many creators who are like, you don't need a lot of products, wear your natural hair in a shrunken state, rock your 4C fro, even if it's small, keep things simple. There are creators like that. And then it gets more and more and more, and people who are selling brand after brand after brand, and brands start to realize, oh, we have things here. They start adding in. People start making content about how you got to get these braids, and these braids look better than your natural hair, and your curly and your natural hair is not looking good. And then right at the peak of like, after everyone is so tired of being told that their natural hair is bad, and every option that they're running to is leading to closed doors, right? Because people were like, I'm going to get Mielle, it will grow my hair. And then some people are allegedly losing their hair. And then people are like, okay, I'm going to use this product. And then this product might sell out to a white company. And then the same thing happens again. That frustration is at like the top of the curve. And then at the bottom, as we go towards the bottom, it becomes a distrust for brands, feeling like brands are disingenuous, returning to a more simple thing, and then going to the breakdown. I feel like right now we're coming towards the peak of exhaustion. People are tired of not knowing which companies to trust. People are tired of buying so many expensive products, hoping that it will do something different. People are tired of constantly covering up their hair, hiding their hair. People are tired of hearing 4C slander. We're getting to like a really extreme part. And you can see, because so many celebrities are trying to buy into the natural hair movement to try and cash out before that last peak of like descent. I always say have discernment. Let me know what y'all's experience is with Mielle. I haven't used it. I think I've used their shampoo one time, and I used an ounce and I was like, nah, this isn't for me. But let me know if you've used it. Let me know what y'all's experience is. Let me know if you believe my theories. And if you got to the end, let me know how y'all like my makeup. I actually drew like what I wanted my makeup to look like last night. Like I couldn't sleep, and I was like, actually, I want to start like drawing what I want my makeup to look like. And I think I like came kind of close to the image. Like I feel like the only difference was I didn't have like super thin eyebrows, but this is the look. Yes, I'm so happy. I have just also uploaded a video on my Patreon. I am getting back to making more consistent content. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.